This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out of It. Welcome back, everyone.
Oh, it's time.
It's your boys.
Oh.
They Mostly Come Out at Night, back again.
I don't know why.
Another one.
Will sounds so sad. Why are you so sad, Will?
I'm not sad. I'm just fucking bored.
Don't be sad, because we have a good thing. We have a good assignment for everybody.
Yes. Please go to wherever you listen to our podcast, our beautiful little podcast.
Our little mini baby boy podcast.
Go like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Share with your friends. Really helps us out. Check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcast if you want to. Give us a review on there. Do all that good stuff. Just help us out because we can continue making the content for you that you love.
Yes.
And really helps us out. We really appreciate everyone listening, and we really appreciate everyone just being here. So thank you. At the time of recording, it is 4/20, which is Easter and the high holiday.
Wow.
So kind of weird that they coincided on the same day. So I guess you're getting high for Jesus today.
I have never consumed drugs in my life.
No, never. I've never either. I'm just saying if you do,
I don't even consume.
If you do,
I don't consume any substances, including alcohol. Actually,
no, that's not what our podcast is entirely centered around at all.
I did not need any substances to get through our keynote.
I honestly wish that I had more substance. And holy shit,
where to begin?
Like, okay, I'm gonna begin with this. I have seen this poster many times.
Yeah.
It lives rent-free in my brain because I saw it in video rental stores all the fucking time.
Well, there's a reason for that.
And it's like a fucking, if you know what asylum movies are, they take big, like, they look at big budget popcorn movies like Transformers or Snakes on a Plane back in the day.
Yeah.
And they make like rip-off movies of them. So
with
like
similar titles.
So like Snakes on a Train or like Transmorphers. So they trick you into watching these movies and paying for them so that they can get paid. But it's
cover?
like a cheap imitation, and it's just fucking stupid.
So see, this is in the cover is not. It's not really an imitation.
It's not imitating anything, and the title's not imitating anything.
But
the movie itself does.
So, I have two things I need to read off to you, Will.
Okay, go for it.
Because the key word here is scam.
Rip-off?
Scam.
Rip-off.
Okay?
Rip-off. It's a fucking rip-off. And we know which of what movie.
Yes. We're not lawyers, but the word scam is going to be prevalent here.
Yes.
So, if you go on IMDb,
okay.
There's a lovely nonsensical plot description that is just lovely. I love it.
Okay.
I looked it up about 75% of the way through the movie.
We were so bored we actually looked up how much time was left like multiple times.
So the thing on IMDb, if you look this movie up, it says Grace visits husband John's family manor. Peculiar events ensue. Butler Ellsworth suspicious. That's a sentence. Friend's demise unveils John and mother-in-law are 1687 witches through secret book. Grace and baby's fate unclear amid supernatural circumstances.
Was that written by a fucking robot?
It sounded like it was written in like Mandarin and then translated back to English.
Yeah.
Or Mandarin, then translated to Spanish, then translated to English.
Well, because it's like so direct, right? There's no like flavor to it.
Which is, that also spoils the whole movie.
Yeah.
We
spoilers, we just spoiled the whole movie.
Here's the real scam, okay? Here's the real scam.
Okay.
This is the back of the VHS, okay? This is you in a video store. Movie comes out.
Yes.
You're bored. You maybe are horny, and you see this cover. You see the woman on the slab. Her chest is kind of visible. There's a skeleton. There's a spooky skull. There's a tagline about saying...
There's the pentagram with the witchcraft on it.
And you look at the back, and there's like fire and scary shit. There's a woman, and then you read the description, right? In 1687, a young couple awaiting the birth of their first child are burnt at the stake for practicing witchcraft and dark satanic rites.
Yes.
After wandering in the depths of hell for 300 years, these disciples of Satan have returned. And then I think somebody fucked up. Because I'm not joking. It says wreaking vengeance. Like stinking.
Like reeking? I mean...
They reek of vengeance.
That wasn't a fuck up. The movie it just reeks.
They reek of vengeance.
This movie reeks of vengeance.
Posing as mother and son to prey and feed on innocent young women.
What?
Plural.
What?
Plural.
What?
Will, plural.
What?
Deception.
That doesn't
lust.
That doesn't happen.
Seduction.
That doesn't happen.
And betrayal.
That doesn't happen. Oh, the betrayal does.
Tools of their evil trade.
What?
And nothing after 300 years will stop them until their demon child is born.
But the demon child is born, like, immediately.
This is a scam description. Scam.
Because that literally happens in the beginning of the movie.
Okay. So, scam, right? You see that cover, you see that back, and you're like, lit, bet, we ball. And then you put the movie on, okay?
Okay. Let's like at least explain the first.
Yes. Because this is part of the scam.
Because again, this is part of the scam. So it starts right, and you see a bunch of villagers coming to a fucking house with like pitchforks and fucking torches and shit.
Burning cross
and a burning cross, and they're like invading the house, and they're like kidnapping the fucking husband and wife.
This woman and man, you don't know who they are yet.
Yeah. And all that while that's going on, they're like juxtapositioning it with
a woman giving birth.
A woman giving birth,
so
and she's screaming, and like they're screaming at the same time because they're being burned at the stake. And
there's like women like looking at the camera and laughing, and it's
there's like nurses leaning down,
it's intercutting with the nurses,
and like it's going insano style, right?
Yeah, there's like lots of
editing all over the fucking place. Like there's like moving cameras, they're filming fucking mirrors, they're fucking going all over the place, and you're just like, all right, cool.
Like, all right, that's how you start a movie.
Sick. Okay, they're going hard right out the gate. That means this movie's gonna be great, right?
And after that happens, after the baby's born, nothing
fucking happens. I'm not even exaggerating. Nothing. It's just people talking in a house until the last, 5 minutes of the movie. Well, there is something with a priest that barely happens. It's you take a fucking hour and 20-minute movie, and there's a bunch of nothing, and there's, a good, maybe 2 minutes of something.
He turns into a pizza crust.
Because he, visits the house.
Yeah, to bless the baby.
And
the new baby.
He immediately walks in and he envisions the baby's crib on fire.
And he's freaked out.
And you're like, why is this happening? And then he goes into the bathroom and he sees more fire and faces flying at him and fucking fire. And then he's sweating profusely.
And he's so spooked that he doesn't bless the baby. He just leaves.
And he leaves. So she calls him again and we see that his face is all burnt.
And he's reading a book that later on at the end of the movie ends up in a spooky chest.
And and then in one part of the movie, they're she's gardening because that's all she fucking does in the movie.
Yes.
She takes care of the baby and she gardens and she talks. That's it. But it's not good dialogue.
No, it's
she's gardening and the fucking pizza priest bungee jumps in front of her.
He hangs himself.
He bungee jumps in front of her window.
And that's the end of that.
And we get a small scene of because her parents killed them. Her dad killed her mom and then hung himself. And we get a 30-second scene of their death.
And her worrying about it, that maybe madness runs in the family.
Maybe I'm crazy because she keeps having these visions of stupid bullshit.
So, because she goes and lives after she has the baby.
They live at her.
The husband insists that they stay at his mom's
The husband's
house.
mom's house is...
And she is clearly set up to be the spooky weirdo, but I mean I am being very generous when I say that they set her up to be spooky. I am being extremely generous here.
I hope that you are okay with this house because it is the only fucking location in the entire movie.
Well, it's like
Nothing. Yeah, that yawn, that's how I feel right now.
Well, there's a certain movie. Well, there's another movie that I can, I can't remember the name of it, but there is another movie about a woman,
I feel
and
like it's like a really famous movie.
like a cult, and it takes place in an apartment.
And it's like the paranoia factor is there,
And there's a husband
you get a
who
bunch
gaslights
of
her.
You get a bunch of people acting super weird, so you're not sure what's going on. And you think maybe the woman's going crazy, but the people are going crazy. What was that movie? Oh, Rosemary's Baby, which this is a fucking ripoff of.
So this is Rosemary's Baby, but the baby's already born.
Yeah, so the baby's already born, and the baby doesn't do anything evil. Like, literally, like, the baby is not evil.
Well,
like,
I don't even get the point, because, so, they say on the stupid ass, all the fucking plot synopsises and the stupid bullshit on the cover, the back cover, says that it's the son of Satan, right?
Right, exactly. They waited 300 years to birth the spawn of Satan.
But I guess, according to this stupid movie, when you watch it, they still have to wait like a whole ass week or something to do their whatever thing to officially make it evil?
It doesn't make sense.
Because that's what happens at the ending. But it's Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, well, it's Rosemary's Baby, but like
there's even
really
a scene,
dumb.
Because there's a scene. Well, there's a scene in this movie where there's a party, and it's the baby.
It's a bunch of weird old dudes.
The baby. Do you remember the end of Rosemary's Baby?
Yeah.
There's a scene in this movie where they're having a party, right? And there's the baby crib in the middle of the room.
And there's a bunch of people surrounding.
And there's a bunch of like
the
strange old people surrounding the crib, just sitting there, like, wow, what a beautiful child.
And how do we build tension? One of the old dude deadpan looks at someone's thighs, the friend's thighs.
The one person in this movie that's not fucking like on Xanax is the friend who gets her head chopped off by something at the end.
And it floats
and then
for
the head
some
floats.
reason.
And I was like, please throw the head. Please throw
They
the head.
don't.
And they don't, because this movie's boring.
There's nothing here.
But when she looks at the baby, one of the old men, it implies that he checks her out. And that was like, I'm not joking, that was the most interesting thing that happened in like 30 minutes.
What's hilarious is he is just like zoned the fuck out. Like, he's not barely even looking at her.
So another fun fact about this movie, right, is, and this is how I knew about this movie. There's 16 of these.
There's 16 witchcraft movies.
And if you look them up...
You heard that right. 16.
Yes.
Why?
And none of them have anything to do with each other.
No. I mean, they're all kind of about Satan.
They're all about modern witches, I guess.
Yeah, witches and Satan. That's it.
The big thing, though, is that if you look them up, almost every single one of them, they are very clearly, like, borderline porno. Borderline, just bordering there, okay? And so we went into this knowing that, okay? Because you look at the other ones, they look like fucking pornos. And then you go into that knowing that, and then you watch this, and you're thinking like, okay, well, even the fucking VHS thing says like, well, there's lust and sex. And then you watch this movie, there's nothing.
There's fucking nothing in
There's
it.
nothing.
There's no sex. There's no fucking boobers. There's
nothing.
Lust. There's no... this movie's like anti-sexy. Like the husband wants nothing to do with the wife after they have the baby.
After she has the baby, yeah.
And you don't even see like any sex scenes. You don't see any.
There's
like
nothing.
Like
There's nothing
even
here.
the part where he's like looking at her thighs. She's in like a skirt.
That's it.
That's it. Like it's, I don't know. Like there's just nothing here. There's not. This movie is just a whole bunch of nothing. It's literally. Besides the scenes we described, and we'll get to the ending, which is really fucking stupid. It's like the last 5 minutes. There is just people talking about nonsense.
So there's a scene early on when they come to the house, and the mom has the main character, whatever, has a nightmare / real thing that happens where she wanders outside and she sees the mom, her mother-in-law, and her husband doing a witch ceremony. And they have like a sacrificed animal on like an altar and a pentagram and all this stuff.
And her mom, like, and the mom.
And they do this fucking movie does a double dolly shot. This movie.
The only double dolly shot in the entire movie.
And I was blown away because, usually you see that in like actual movies.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah.
And then you see this movie and they do a double dolly shot for that one scene. And I swear to God, not a single fucking thing after that is interesting.
Well,
and they do that, and the mom like looks back at her, and she starts bleeding out of her mouth.
And she does that like 3 more times in the movie.
They do over and over, but that is the big thing that happens that makes you, the idiot in the audience, watching the movie, be like, "Ooh, there's something suspicious about the mom."
Well, because you watch
really
that
weird.
crazy ass opening, right? Yeah. And you're like, "There's got to be something here."
Yeah,
there has to be. So you desperately hope.
No.
And they do the double dolly shot, and you're like, okay, maybe things are getting crazy. No. It just goes back to being boring and fucking... It is filmed, and I'm not even kidding here. It is filmed like a bad episode of, like, Goosebumps. It's like TV show quality.
It looks like a very basic TV show.
Like a bad TV show. Like, always like this really stale lighting.
Yeah, just everything's flat.
It's just stale. Like, even the music is just fucking...
stock.
There's nothing there. There's no style to this movie whatsoever.
Half the people...
It is just a piece of white bread.
Yeah, half the people in it are sleepwalking. There's just nothing... Like, there's a whole... So they do that thing with the mom where she has the nightmare with the fucking double dolly. And then after that, there's no actual indication, really, that the mom is, like, satanic or evil or whatever.
The mom just kind of acts, like, kind of weird. Yeah. She just stands and lingers.
I'm not joking. The only other thing is there's a whole, like, basement of the house that has a magic room, I guess, with the mirror.
With the mirror, and so she sees... fucking
spooky things in the mirror.
She sees Tiny Headman because they have a painting.
Oh, boy.
So she sees in the mirror there's a painting of the 2 people that got burned at the stake, right?
And the man and the woman.
And it looks like vaguely like her husband and vaguely like his mom.
Yes.
Because we know now who they are. And I swear to God, every time they show that painting, all I could focus on is the fact that I don't know who painted that picture.
He has a very small head.
He has a small, tiny head.
He looks like the head shrinker from Beetlejuice.
Bob, I think it is, or something like that.
I don't even know his name. But it's the guy at the end of Beetlejuice who shrinks, who's the head shrinker. He's got the giant fucking body and tiny head. Yeah. That's what the painting looks like.
And it's funny because it does this like weird, like cheap effect on it where it like kind of crash zooms and like pulls away.
There's the amazing scene where there's the digital negative faces flying at the camera.
Of the old women lingering over, and like it looks so cheap and stupid. It looks like fucking lazy. Something you'd see in like a 90s TV show. It looks so like fucking bad.
A literal TV show.
Yeah, it looks like a cheap TV show. And they even have like wipe transitions.
Oh, the transitions.
The transition make it look so much cheaper than... I mean, there's probably no budget here, but like... Because it's a single location. They don't really change their outfits that much. There's not a lot of actors. There's just not a lot of cool effects anywhere.
Yeah.
And so the wipes make it look even cheaper than it already is. Because like they do these like cheap wipe effects and there's no like cool transition.
Well, they also do several times. They do like a TV show transition where like when you watch a TV show, they always do that thing where, someone says a line or something happens that's supposed to be like shocking. And then immediately after it happens, they do the fade to black.
When it like cuts to commercial. Yeah.
This movie has several scenes that do that. And every time it takes you completely out of it because you're just like, this is a movie.
Yeah.
Why are we doing fade to black? Like there's that scene where she wakes up out of a nightmare and it literally like her... waking up in bed screaming, fade to black.
Yeah.
Like a TV show. That's where you cut the commercial. I don't know.
There's even a part, I'm not kidding, where the music crescendos after she reveals something, and it crescendos and fades to black and then goes to the next scene.
Yes. Like a TV show.
Like a TV fucking, like a made-for-TV movie.
Where they would cut, that's when they would cut to commercial. But this isn't, this a movie.
This is a real movie. Like, I don't get it. Like, who is this made for?
That's a scam.
Well, that's the scam, because you watch the first part of it, and there's like all this fucking like flashy, super fast editing. There's transitions from like the fucking woman screaming on the stake to her screaming giving birth.
Yeah.
There's transitions that make sense, and it's just fucking going, and you're just like, holy shit, okay.
Yeah.
I guess like there is some like something to this movie. No.
Nothing.
They fucking boom you.
They boomed you.
And then the ending happens, and you're just like, oh.
We should talk about the riveting burned house subplot.
Oh God! So the husband's been like super distant because he's been boning the mom, I guess, because they're like actually a couple. And
Which, again, if this movie had any fucking intelligence,
there's nothing to lead that until you see the end, right?
But if this movie was intelligent,
because there would be some tension there.
You would set something up where you'd be watching this, and there'd be some sort of weird dynamic, and you'd be like,
well, like, you know, because incest is uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and it's a thing in horror movies that you can like lead to her questioning whether he is boning the mom.
maybe she's crazy.
That would be an okay subplot where
No.
where like he like walks in on them and it's like implying that they were kissing or something, like something.
No.
Something. But no, they don't do that at all, because all he does is he's been distant. And
he's working. Well,
and she asks,
that's his excuse.
And then because he's working really hard on what we don't know. There's no character development.
He never sleeps with her.
There's zero character development for anyone in this fucking movie
Until there's a scene where she finally
gets through to him. She finally bones him,
and they're laying in bed post boning.
He boinks her. He gives her the best 30 seconds of his life.
Post boinking, you know, they're like, she's like, I want to go home. Let's go home.
And he's like, we can't go home. And she's like, well, why not? And he's like,
I lost the house.
I lost the house. I like how he says, I lost the house.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, well, when he says that, I was like, what, did you, like, gamble it away? What do you mean you lost the house?
In this movie, it could be fucking anything. But he says, it burned down a week ago. And we're like, okay, like, are you going to show that happening? Or
no. But then she leaves.
Of course not.
She leaves to go look at it, and of course, it looks like the exact same house. And there's some woman outside the house who's like,
"We finally get a new character, and it's boring."
She's like, "Man, I saw that yesterday," and she's like, "No, it burned down last week." She's like, "Listen, no, it was yesterday." So she knows the husband's lying.
So she goes back to the house, and he's nowhere to be found.
And then she has a nightmare where her wrists are slit.
Yeah, and
she wakes up in bed and her wrists are really slit. And everyone's like, it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
And even the friend's like, it's okay. I'm here for you. And then we see the friend laying in bed with her. And then it's night. And then another night. And then the friend goes into a room and gets her head cut off.
Yeah, they're exploring the house because she has a nightmare. And she walks and opens a chest in the basement, and she pulls a cross out.
And gives it to the friend.
And then she wakes up, and she has the cross in her hand like it's Nightmare on Elm Street.
And the friend's like, oh,
how'd you get this?
This was on my nightstand at my house. Because we can't possibly go to the friend, just show the friend leaving it on her fucking night house.
That would actually be...
Yeah.
That would have actually made me lose my marbles. If they actually had a pointless scene of her putting her stupid cross on the nightstand just so that us idiots in the audience could be like, I wonder what's going to happen.
She put it on the nightstand.
And so she's like, I found it in the chest downstairs or whatever. I don't even know what she said. It doesn't matter. But they go downstairs to look for it. And then the friend gets her head chopped off by an invisible force.
She finds a book, and that explains that the two people were studying witchcraft
300 years ago.
We finally get the 5 minutes of a backstory. Not even 5 minutes. It's like 2 minutes.
That she was about to give birth. The woman burned at the stake in the beginning was about to give birth,
and then she
burned them for witchcraft.
Then she notices they look like the fucking person and the mom, and then she gets her head lobbed off.
And then the our main character walks in the room, and her head is floating.
Her head is just floating.
It's adorable.
For no reason.
And then she goes to another room.
And then she goes to another room, and they're doing a ritual.
And there's an upside-down cross.
Now, we forgot to mention, there is a butler. It's a red herring.
Who's suspicious.
Yeah, because he's mute.
And he has the same resting bitch face for the whole movie.
And she gives him a flower, so they're friends.
Well, you don't see what he does with the flower, so you don't know. But then you'll find out. And she goes there.
Foreshadowing, Alex. Okay.
And our dude, her husband, is wearing his best cheap Dracula costume.
Cape.
The woman's wearing like a monk robe. And they're doing a seance.
And they have a baby. They have the baby in the middle, and there's a bunch of fucking fog just blowing everywhere.
And they say like he's the child of Satan, blah blah blah.
And they're like, we're lovers. We we used you to birth our son, the spawn of Satan.
And then
even though the baby has literally done nothing evil in the entire fucking movie.
It's fine. They
I mean, technically, they haven't really done anything that evil either. Well, like, no. I mean, they lopped the friend's head off, and they made the priest, like, hang himself.
Scam. Because on the back of the VHS, it says they use innocent women.
Not woman.
So it implies that we're going to watch this movie, and we're going to see them just go fucking run a choo-choo train through dozens of women for fucking Satan's baby. Wrong.
If you don't count them dying, there is 3 deaths in the movie.
3?
Yeah.
The 2 in the beginning?
No, because we're about to explain one of them. So the friend, the priest, and the one we're about to explain.
Well, technically, Will, there's 5 because there's the 2 in the beginning.
I said if you don't count them.
But you have to.
But they're resurrected again.
They got turned into beef jerky in the beginning.
Yeah, and they get turned back into beef jerky.
No,
into skeletons.
One of them gets turned into a bad digital skeleton. The other one gets turned into an actual toy skeleton, which is great.
Yeah. But
the husband, they couldn't afford 2 skeletons.
No.
Okay.
One, they had to blow fog over his face and then quickly transition him into a skull.
Oh, God. They strap her down, the main character, and they're about to stab her for the final thing in Majiggy.
And the butler stabs the... I love this scene because he's about to stab her, right? And he's like, you're gonna die or whatever. And then he's like... And he
stares at the camera.
He stops, and then he's just staring at the camera, and he smiles a little bit, and then it literally crash cuts to just him screaming, and then he falls on the ground. You still have no idea what's happened, right?
And you see the butler with a knife.
Then you finally see the butler, and he has a knife and a pole, and he stabs the guy with the pole, and he falls on the ground. He turns into a digital skeleton, and fucking. And then he doesn't. What's weird is there's 2 evil people in this
the
fucking.
The mom is still there.
Yeah, the mom is still there. The mom lover, the fucking, she's still there.
Yeah.
So the butler, instead of like going after her, he decides to He decides to cut the ties on the woman's restraints.
Yeah.
Well, because that gives the mom time to kill him.
To get a pole and stab him through the mouth.
Yep, and it's a really stupid effect because you can tell he's holding it in his mouth. And he falls on the ground, and she grabs the knife and stabs her.
She stabs the mom, and then the mom turns into a toy skeleton.
There's no struggle either.
She just stabs her.
She just she drops the pole, and then the fucking woman just stabs her, and then fucking she turns into a toy skeleton, and then she grabs the baby, and credits roll.
Credits roll over the happiest music I've heard in my entire life.
Yeah, it's like soap opera, like when they have a good ending.
Yeah, when they finally fuck.
Yeah.
And then there you go. That's the ending.
And there's a bright light behind the fog because it's not Satan's baby anymore.
Good.
It's not Satan's baby anymore, okay? It's a good baby. Dude.
I can't fucking believe this stupid ass movie.
This movie's so dumb. How on earth did this, of all things, spawn a fucking franchise?
I'm telling you, there were enough people that got scammed in this.
Into thinking this is like a fucking at least in the fucking hopefully in the sequels they actually go for the whole like seductive like
shit.
sexy like boober shit because this didn't even have that.
Oh, this is the most stock thing
It's
imaginable.
so stale and boring and like sanitary. It's so there's nothing to like grip onto.
Yeah, for a
There's
straight to video.
There's no meat. It looks like this movie is the equivalent of that toy skeleton you see on the fucking stage at the end of the fucking movie.
For a straight to video movie like this, it's shockingly tame. It's shockingly sanitized.
Like there's a little bit of blood when like the friend gets her head cut off and they spray.
Well, that's the only reason there's an R rating.
They spray blood and like there's a few like sort of violent scenes, but like honestly, nowadays this probably would have just been rated PG-13. There's like nothing.
Nah, there's too much blood, but that's it. There's no swearing.
Well, there's no swearing, there's no nudity, there's no style, there's no substance, there's nothing.
But there's just enough blood from like the head getting chopped off, the quick fucking 2-second visual of like the dead mom and the dead dad.
Yeah.
But there's really, yeah. I mean, there's there's a little
bit
of blood at the
It's a very safe R.
Yeah, which I mean, again, come on.
You're straight to video. You could do anything.
Yeah.
You could literally do anything. You're not going to theaters.
Yeah, who's gonna care? The only people who are gonna watch this are a bunch of degenerates. But
they made a good poster, so they're like, here's some boobers, and old fucks were like, I'm fucking renting that movie, and then they made enough in video rental sales that they're like, the studio was like, hey, this was really popular, let's make another one, and then they just they didn't fucking stop until fucking 16
of them. Imagine.
We watched a little snippet of 10, and that was fucking hilarious.
It was deeply hilarious. It was funnier than anything that happened in this movie.
A guy looks directly into the camera.
They put a bookshelf in front of a closet door
to make it look like a police office.
To make it look like a policeman.
Even that little tiny snippet, like you said, was more entertaining than anything we just watched on an actual hour and 20-minute movie.
Yeah, this
ain't it.
Oh boy.
This is it's really bad. It was a hard watch. Because it's so fucking boring. Like if I was watching this by myself, I 100% would have turned it off.
Oh, it would have been gone.
Like after that fire scene, I would have been in, right? And then like literally like 15 minutes after that, I'd be like, oh, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, I would just be like, why is this?
Be like, oh, like
why is this filmed in the most basic way imaginable?
Well, yeah, like why did the camera work all of a sudden just like be like no? Did they fire the cinematographer? Like what happened?
Why is everyone so boring?
Like what happened?
Yeah, why is there
because
no
it's a scam. Because they got to get you hooked on that first like 5 minutes, right? Because they got to make it worth it a little bit. They got to make it worth your rental. And then you get past that 5 minutes and you're just like, oh.
And that's it. You're sucked in.
You're like, oh, it's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. What are you going to do? You can't return it.
They already got your money.
You already got home and you can't fucking get your money back. You already rented it.
You got your lube out. You got your napkins. Mm-hmm. You're ready. You're torqued.
The whole family went to bed, and you're just ready.
You're like, I can finally watch Witchcraft.
You're ready. You're hard as a rock.
And then you put this on.
And then you put this in, and you go soft.
And then you just keep watching it, and then you fall asleep. I mean, can fucking hell.
How could you not fall asleep? I almost fell asleep.
This would be nice ASMR. Because there are so many scenes of this. I mean, Christ. There's so many scenes of this where it's just... like crickets.
Yeah, well,
literally,
like
crickets.
No music, like that stupid fucking dinner scene where they're eating the meat, and it's supposed to like something's supposed to happen, right? And nothing happens. Like
they're just eating.
They're just eating meat. Like not like human meat.
Yeah, I was like, what's this?
It's just fucking like red meat. They're just eating red meat, and like there's no music, and you just hear utensils scraping on.
Does the sound of utensils
plates
scraping on plates for 2 minutes appeal to you?
But don't worry, because they do like a little gotcha moment at the end. Because remember, she looks at the mom, and all of a sudden, blood starts to come from her mouth.
Wow, that was That was
And then
the second
nothing
time
and then nothing happens after that.
yeah, she just looks scared.
And they're like, you
And the
haven't touched your
husband's like,
food.
What's wrong? What's wrong?
Dude, this is what Shitty to Pretty was made for. Because it's all for entertainment value. I'm sorry to say this. There's no substance here. Like, it's not like it's the worst movie we've ever seen. It's just fucking boring.
3 out of 10.
It's a 3. Like, it's not atrocious enough to get a 1.
And
but
I'm
like,
sorry. That is the most generous 3 out of 10 I've given out in the most recent memory.
I almost gave it a 2, but like that first scene, because it's not like you can give it a 1 because one is reserved for those special like special movies like Black Devil Doll from Hell and like Savage Water and like shit like that, or like the Lucifer Complex.
Death Nurse.
Yeah, it's like reserved for those movies where you literally want to end it all while you're watching
this
it.
is not Death Nurse.
This is not where you just contemplate life while you're watching this movie. No, you just contemplate turning it off.
It's just a regular, boring, basic bitch movie.
You just contemplate about turning it off every single second you're watching it.
Yep.
And I did. I came real close to fucking like just being like, nah.
Yeah, this was,
because you're like the ending is not fucking worth it. Like there's nothing there.
No, the ending's not worth it. It's just, if you think the most basic way to do this kind of thing, they will do exactly that, and the ending is that.
If you want the good experience, if you really, really, really want to watch Witchcraft, you can watch it on Tubi. But I would suggest just going and watching the first like 5 minutes on YouTube.
Yeah.
That'll give you.
This is on Tubi, so if you want to experience it, go ahead.
If you want to experience it in its full made-for-TV glory with ads and everything, you can watch it on Tubi. Mm-hmm. Or just go watch the first 5 minutes on fucking YouTube, and that'll give you all you need.
Or yeah, track down the first 5 minutes, and there you go. You've watched the most interesting part of this movie.
Yeah, you've watched the only part you need to watch of this movie.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Fuck this movie. It's such a worthless waste of time. An hour and 20 minutes never felt so long.
Yeah. Ah, man. I can't believe.
I have nothing else to say. This is like one of our shorter reviews because there's just nothing here.
Oh, don't worry. Well, I'm sure we will watch all remaining Witchcraft films.
Yep.
I mean, some of them.
I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show, if you want to have us watch the rest of the Witchcraft movies, you know what we do? This beautiful feature.
You don't even need to do that.
I know you don't. It's going to be on the.
But if you really
want to,
rub the salt in.
If you really just want to like solidify your place in line on the requests, and you want us to watch more Witchcraft movies because you enjoyed this 30-minute review of Witchcraft, where nothing happens,
you're gonna have to wait because they're in the future. But
they are. But you can request them, so you can lock in those requests.
So if you really want to
feel Witchcrafts
extra super duper special,
or like know that we will watch them
and we cannot get out of it,
yes, then you can solidify your recommendations for Witchcraft 2 through 16. One of you should do that on the YouTube. Just be like, I got a request, and then just fucking list every single fucking movie.
I mean, the only caveat is if I can't find them, I'm sorry, you're not.
Most of them are on Tubi.
Most of them, but some of them aren't for some reason.
Yeah. But you can do that. We do requests every 5 episodes, so get those in when you can.
Yeah.
That's what I forgot to bring up at the top of the show.
It's all right.
So it's a perfect segue.
Well, you know what our next request is?
One I am very excited about.
The Werewolf and the Yeti.
I am so excited.
The Werewolf.
It is like
and the Yeti.
This is like cryptids, like lover's dream movie, and it's gonna be terrible. But like,
it's a Paul Naschy movie,
I can't fucking wait.
That's a whole rabbit hole we will discuss when we get to Werewolf and the Yeti.
I want like a big old fight scene.
The world of Paul Naschy, and I mean, you're probably not gonna get a fight scene. Well, you can dream.
Probably not, but I can hope and I can dream.
Well, you will
we're probably
get,
gonna
though.
get some stupid shit, but like
No, here's what you will get, okay?
Yeah.
Because you will get something this movie couldn't deliver. You will get gore and you will get boobers, okay?
I'm okay with that.
So
I'm okay
there's
with
two
that.
things you are going to get that this movie
Yep.
really
And I'm gonna get
deliver.
at least a werewolf scene and at least one.
There is a werewolf.
and at least one Yeti scene.
And I'm assuming there's a Yeti. It's in the title. I hope they don't boom that. But there is 100% a werewolf.
I guess we'll see. We've watched Bigfoot movies on this podcast, and none of them have been very good. So,
I guess we did watch 2.
Yeah.
I forgot about Boggy Creek too.
because nothing happened in Boggy Creek 2.
Great movie.
It was basically like a nature documentary that like literally was boring as shit.
And then we also had Bigfoot.
Wasn't it Boggy Creek 2, The Legend Continues?
The legend continues, yeah.
And it had nothing to do
One
with
of
the
most,
first one?
I think it's probably one of the lowest rated sequels on the planet.
Yeah,
Congrats.
for good reason.
I don't know if it's worse than Bigfoot, one of our first episodes, which is an absolute pile of garbage movie. That only, we were not ready at the time. Our virgin eyes didn't know. But now we know.
We were not ready.
We've seen over 300 movies. I can take anything.
Yep, we can take anything. We've seen Black Devil Doll from Hell.
We've sat through...
The reason we keep mentioning it is because it literally is the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
We've sat through 2 Chester Turner films.
Yes.
We've sat through 2 Death Nurse films. 2 Death Nurse films, okay?
Yeah.
Witchcraft is nothing.
Witchcraft is fine. It's you know what? It's just we're gonna like get past it and we'll be fine.
I won't even remember it.
No, we probably won't ever bring it up again because
So
it's just that kind of movie.
We'll get to 89 and do Witchcraft 2 and be like, what happened in Witchcraft 1?
I have no idea. Be like, oh, the mom bled blood out of her fucking mouth.
Satan baby.
That does nothing Satan worthy at all.
Satanic.
There's no satanic shit in this movie at all. I cannot preface that enough.
It's funny.
Nothing even really like demonic happens.
Listen, you go to this much effort to rip off Rosemary's Baby, and you don't even.
Effort is a strong word to use.
Listen, there's way too many fucking moments where you're just like, wow.
Have you seen?
I've seen this.
Well, it was funny because like constantly while watching this movie, we leaned over to each other and we're like, "Hey, have you seen Rosemary's Baby?"
And every time we laughed harder and harder as our sanity slipped, because eventually it was just like too much. It was just too much.
It is literally like a very like bad discount version of Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
That's all this movie is.
I swear, like the only thing that would have made it even more of a fucking like punch in the face is if they said like he's got his father's eyes and gave the baby like demon eyes.
They did say he looked like his father.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
I know.
They did do that. So slap in the face there. Anyway, have you seen Rosemary's Baby? Anyway, that's the episode. I'm done talking about this movie. Fuck Witchcraft. We're gonna watch all fucking 16. I guess
We'll fucking get to them.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We really appreciate it. For They Mostly Come Out at Night, this has been Will.
This has been Alex.
And we will talk to you all in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Have you seen Rosemary's Baby?
What is that? I don't know.
Well, watch Witchcraft.
Oh, this is like the better. Witchcraft is better.
Yeah.
I got it.
100%.
This is the blueprint.
Yeah. Blueprint for Rosemary's Baby.
I got you now. Okay.